Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Texas Mortgage Boss Podcast. My name is James J. Thank you for joining us today. I am very, very excited for today's show. And today is going to be all about the mindset of a home buyer. Now, if you are in the market, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're thinking about getting into the market to own a home, this show is going to help you. Let's get started. All right, so we are talking about mindset today as it relates to the home buyer. So we're talking about what your mindset should be as you are in the market to own a home. We are in a very, very unique market right now. All right. The situation with the sellers having so much control is very unique. All right. I've been in this business 20 years between real estate, mortgage. It's never been this way. And what do you do? What do you do as a buyer? There is so much fatigue. All right. Buyer fatigue. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it with buyers getting to a point of just frustration, right? They're thinking, you know what, I'm going to wait. I've got a couple of slides I'm going to share with you guys that will echo what I'm saying right now. But I hear it a lot from buyers. They're frustrated, right? They're frustrated. They're making offer after offer after offer after offer. Now, depending on the price point you're looking at, I know for every market, it's going to be very, very local, guys. Everything's really, really hyper local, meaning your market, your city, your county is going to be very different than maybe some other cities, counties, and so forth. So hyper local, that is what real estate is. So if you're in a, maybe under $200,000 price point, you're going to probably be competing against a lot of people. Why? A couple things. That is a first-time buyer price range for the most part. Doesn't mean a first-time buyer won't buy a home that's 300 or 400, but a lot of first-time buyers are going to be probably in that 200 price point range or less. Some of them may be a little bit higher, right? It's all going to be different. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. If you remember a few weeks ago, I did a video about FHA's change as it relates to school loans, right? So just as a quick reminder, FHA loans are now allowing potential home buyers to take less money. So instead of us taking 1%, we now only have to take a 0.5% on a school loan. All right, that's the first thing. The other thing is, if you had a school loan payment plan already in place, well, no matter what that payment plan amount is, we now as a lender can just honor whatever your payment plan amount is. So for example, before this change, we used to have to take 1% of your school loans as a monthly payment if they were deferred. Even if you had a payment plan and just say you have $50,000 in school loans, well, 1% of that's going to be $500. If you had a payment plan already in place and your payment plan was $150, well, I have to take the $500 and use that in the debt to income calculation, okay? That was prior to the change. So it was worst case scenario. Even if you had a payment plan in place, 1%, if that's higher than your payment plan amount, we have to take the 1%. It's the higher of the two. That has now changed, all right? Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because now, there are now more people that are qualified to go out and own homes. Whereas before that change with FHA and school loans, they weren't qualified. Okay. So all of this that I'm saying right now comes back to more home buyers being out there now, right? With this FHA rule change on school loans, you now have more people in the market, right? You now have more competition. You now have more offers to compete with as a buyer, and your mindset is super, super important with this. So let me share screens with you guys so I can show you where we are. So this is the realities of buyer fatigue right now. And this is 5 really, really, really good reasons why a buyer would be frustrated right now. I understand. Number one, record price appreciation. All right. That's great for the seller, not so great for a buyer in this market, right? It's great in the sense that if you buy a home right now, the market's going to continue to increase, right? It's going to continue to increase over the next few months. I don't think we're going to see a slowdown until maybe 2022, just my opinion, but that's what I think is going to happen next year. Right now, number 2, extremely low inventory. All right, that's evident, very, very, very evident. Number 3, record high percent sales over list price. Okay, I've never seen this. I've never seen this in Texas. I've never seen what we are experiencing right now. I have heard stories in Austin where people are bidding 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 grand over asking, guys. Over asking. Austin is very, very hot, to say the least, largely because there's a lot of people moving to Austin, and there's also a lot of businesses moving to Austin too. So the market over there is even crazier than we are in the Houston area. But overall, Texas, I've never seen so many offers over asking price. It's absolute insanity. There's no other way to describe what's going on right now. All right. Number 4, record low days on market. And of course, historically low mortgage rates. Now, the days on market is huge as well, because oftentimes some of these homes are not even on the market for 24 hours and they're getting offers, multiple offers. In some situations, they may not even need to put the house on the market. Just to put a sign in the yard, you're getting people that are interested in some cases. It's a very, very unique market, which again is affecting buyer mindset right now. Should I wait? Should I just wait till next year to see what happens? Well, let's look at that. So this is a survey that was done recently, and the survey was in reference to, is it a good time to buy? All right. Is it a good time to buy? So you can see from June of last year till May of 2021, you see how that is going down, down, down. All of this is buyer fatigue. Buyers are fatigued. Now, I will say, no matter what is going on in the market, I still think you need to do everything you can to get into home ownership. Why? Because rents are going up as well. Rent's not coming down. It's going up. I just read something recently where rents are going up almost double what it normally should be in this type of time of year, right? So rents constantly go up. I've never recalled a market where rents for homes or apartments was going down. All right, just never seen it. I don't think we'll ever see it. So while you're waiting for the market to change or cool off or whatever the case may be, your rent is still going up. It's still increasing, right? They're not bringing down rents. So you got to think about that when you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait and see what happens next year, right? Take a look at this. Months of inventory. This is really, really interesting. All right. I got into this business right around 2000. So right around here. I'm dating myself a little bit, right? So right around this 1999, 2000, when I kind of got into real estate. This is after the crash, right? 08, 2010, you can see buyer's market. So this is what a buyer's market is considered, right? So this is, if there's more than 7 months of inventory, that's considered a buyer's market. A seller's market is if there's less than 6 months of inventory. So what does that mean? Let me give you a little bit more context around seller's market. If there was no more homes added to the market, it would take, in a normal market, it would take 6 months to sell everything that was on the market now without anything new coming. All right. This is a normal type of seller's market. This is where we are today. Look at that number. It's incredible, right? You see that we are at a point of about 1.5 months of inventory, which makes this a super seller's market. A super seller's market. So what is your mindset as a buyer when you see this going on, right? Other than frustration? Well, let's get a little more strategic about what we do to be able to get the home. All right. I've talked about this before, pre-qualification, right? Pre-qualification versus pre-approval, not the same thing. You want a pre-approval. All right. A lot of times the sellers, agents are asking and calling me as the lender, asking, is this a pre-qualification or pre-approval? All right. They are not the same thing. You want to have a pre-approval if you can get it. However, every lender doesn't do them. They won't do them. Now, I would say in this market, there's probably more lenders understanding that they need to help their buyers separate their offers from another offer. But I still don't think every lender is doing a real pre-approval. So you want to have a pre-approval. All right. That means your file has been seen by an underwriter and they have verified your documents, your income, and so forth, and said, hey, this is a pre-approval. Just go find the home. That is what a pre-approval is. It is not a pre-qualification. It is not the same thing. So if you're throwing around these words, oh, I got a pre-qualification, and you think it's pre-approval, be very clear about what you have. If you don't know, ask me. I'll be glad to help. It doesn't matter who the letter's from. I'll be glad to help you guys. And if you need a pre-approval and your lender can't do it, call me. I'll be glad to help you with that. So that is one thing that you can do to kind of separate yourself from another offer. The other thing is this. I'm going to talk a little bit about specifically more about the actual contract and some of the things that you can do because it may help you. Could be you limit or completely get rid of your option period, right? It's a way to separate. So most of the time when you make an offer on a home, most of the time it's going to be 10 days to 14 days. It's negotiable, but I typically see 10 to 14 days. Well, maybe you say, you know what, Mr. Seller, I'm going to waive my option period. Okay. That's a way to separate yourself. That's the way to separate yourself. Now, does that mean you can't get the home inspected? Of course not. Does that mean you're just going to accept the house as it is and not ask for any repairs? Of course not. It's not what that means. But the option period is a way to separate yourself because most people are going to ask for an option period. You might say, hey, you know what? I'm going to waive the option period. Another way to approach the option period is, you know what? I'm going to give you $2,000 for the option period, right? Whereas most offers are going to say, hey, I'll give you 10, 20 bucks a day, give or take here. So $100, a $200 option fee. Okay, option fee might be for 10 days, right? Again, this is all negotiable. But if you're not sure or understanding what an option fee is or what an option period is, that option period allows you as a buyer to get the home inspected, do all the due diligence you want while you have the home under contract, and you can walk away for whatever reason you choose during that option period. Excuse me. That is what the option period is for, right? Well, if you waive that, that's something to separate yourself from other buyers, right? Excuse me. So that is another way. Another thing you can do is shorter closing, right? You can do shorter closing. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Shorter closing. Now, you can't have a shorter closing if you don't have a pre-approval, right? So that's another reason why you want to have a pre-approval, because it may be something that will allow you to get that offer, whereas the other person has to take 30 days or longer to be able to close. So those are just a few tips that I will give you guys as it relates to separating yourself and honestly just minimizing the fatigue, because this is real, right? This fatigue, this is real, and I understand completely. If I was in the market to buy a home, I would be frustrated as well. Am I going to give up? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because your rent will continue to increase, right? So the waiting, I'm going to wait. And by the way, for people that are thinking the market's going to crash next year and so forth and so on, listen, prices may not appreciate or go up as much as they have in this last, 12 months or so, prices are not coming down, guys. They're not going to come down. They may level off. They may not go up as much. They're not coming down. So waiting till next year to look at home ownership, I don't think you're making any progress by doing that, in the sense of any financial progress, meaning rates may go up next year, right? We don't know. But I'm going to guess rates are probably not going to stay where they're at, for another year. I think we're going to probably see some increase in rates over the next 12 months. So that means your buying power is now lower than what it was, or what it is as of right now. Interest rates go up, your buying power is going to go down. So just a few things to keep in mind, guys. I am here if you need a lender, if you need a pre-approval, if you're looking to refinance, call me, right? My number is right there on below, 281-800-5755. You can also visit the website, and there's some information there as well. Also, you got a question, send me a DM. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook as well. I am there. I am available. I would love to answer your questions. I'd love to be your lender if you need one. If you don't, and you just need a second opinion, I'd love to be an option for you, right? Call me, text me. I will get you an answer if you want a second opinion. And just listen, don't give up. Do not give up. As frustrating as it may be, it's more frustrating, in my opinion, to continue to pay rent. Because whether you're owning a home, your own home, or you're renting a home, you're still paying a mortgage, right? The question is, whose mortgage do you want to pay for? You want to pay for yours, or you want to pay for your landlord's? Great question. See you guys on the next video.